When you hear the word research, what pops into your head? Maybe a scientist in a lab coat surrounded by bubbling beakers? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that whole idea. Because real research, the kind that changes the world, it doesn't start in a lab. It starts with a simple question, one you've probably already asked yourself today.
Yep, that's it. Where is my key? Or maybe for you, it was, where on earth did I park my car? This tiny, everyday question, it's the absolute bedrock of all research. It's that little itch in your brain that you just have to scratch, a gap in your knowledge that you feel compelled to fill, right now. And that's really the big secret here. We are all, every single one of us, natural-born researchers. Seriously. The process of looking for your keys, checking your pockets, retracing your steps, coming up with a theory about where they could be, that is a mini investigation. You're collecting data, analyzing it, and trying to reach a conclusion, all in real time. I mean, think about it for a second. We do this constantly. We see someone and wonder who they are. We need to find something, so we figure out where to look. We try to understand people's character. We compare prices online. All of this is our innate curiosity in action, and it's the engine that drives us to know more about our world. Now, what's really fascinating is this little battle that's always going on inside our heads. See, on one side, you've got the curious you, who is just this relentless investigator, always asking questions. But then there's the lazy you, who, let's be honest, would much rather just scroll on their phone or take the easy way out. Well, formal research is what happens when we let our curious side win that fight, by giving it the structure and the discipline it needs to make some real discoveries. So, how do we make that leap? What's the difference between you looking for your keys and a scientist discovering a new planet? What is it that transforms a simple search into what we formally call research? Well, it's all about having a system. The word itself actually gives us a massive clue. It comes from the old French words re, which means again, but with intensity, and chercher, which means to search. So research literally means to search again, closely. It's not just a quick glance, it's a deep, repeated, and really thorough investigation. And that investigation follows the simple but super powerful three-step framework. First, you investigate your materials and sources. You gather your info. Then you use that information to find patterns or establish some solid facts. And finally, and this is the crucial part, you use those patterns to reach a new conclusion, something you didn't know when you started.
As the researcher Cresswell put it so well, research isn't just about collecting a pile of facts. It is a structured process. It's a set of steps you use to collect and analyze information with one specific goal in mind, to genuinely increase our understanding of something.
Okay, so now that we've got a handle on what research is, let's talk about the two main reasons why we even do it. It really breaks down into two big categories based on what you're trying to achieve: pure research and applied research.
Pure research is all about knowledge just for the sake of knowledge. It's driven by that basic human curiosity we were just talking about. On the other hand, applied research is built to solve a specific, practical, real-world problem. This is the kind of research that big companies or governments will often fund because they need an answer, and they need it now. For a great example of pure research, just think about astronomers mapping distant galaxies, or physicists at CERN smashing particles together just to see what happens. There's no immediate plan to sell a product here. The driving force is just pure, unadulterated curiosity. The simple, powerful desire to expand what humanity knows about the universe. Now, for applied research, imagine taking all that fundamental knowledge from biology, which came from pure research, and using it to develop a better kind of fertilizer. See, the goal is super specific and practical: improve crop production to feed more people. It's a perfect example of how that knowledge for its own sake often lays the groundwork for practical solutions way down the line. Okay, so beyond why we do research, there's the big question of what kind of evidence we're collecting. And this brings us to our next two essential categories: quantitative and qualitative research. Or, as I like to think of it, numbers versus narratives. So, here's the simplest way to remember it. Quantitative research deals with numbers. It answers the question, what? It's all about objective measurements, stats, percentages, things you can count up and plot on a chart. Qualitative research, on the other hand, deals with words and stories. It digs deep to answer the question, why? It's about understanding the rich context behind the numbers through things like interviews or focus groups. Okay, check this out. This chart is a perfect example of quantitative data. It tells us what is happening, loud and clear,
75% of our users are very satisfied. It's a clean, measurable, objective fact. But notice what it doesn't tell us. Right, that chart doesn't tell you why they're satisfied. For that, you need qualitative data. You'd have to actually talk to those users, hear their stories, and understand their feelings and perceptions. Both types of data are incredibly powerful, but they're an absolute knockout when you use them together. So we've covered what research is, why we do it, and the different kinds of data we use. But let's just zoom out for a second. Why does any of this matter? Why is going through this systematic process of asking and answering questions so incredibly important?
This right here is at the very heart of it. Research doesn't just teach us new things about the world. It actually forces us to re-examine what we think we already know. It challenges our assumptions, it corrects our biases, and it replaces our gut feelings with cold, hard evidence.
And its significance is just massive. It's the tool we use to explore the great unknown. It's how we develop and test new ideas and theories. It's what gives us the hard facts we need to make better decisions. And ultimately, it's how we solve the most difficult and pressing problems facing our world.
In every single one of those massive achievements, every theory, every solution, every discovery that has ever changed the course of human history started in exactly the same place, with one observation, one moment of curiosity, one simple question.
Which brings this whole conversation right back to you. We are all born with that curious instinct. The only thing separating our everyday curiosity from world-changing research is just adding a little bit of structure. So really, the only thing left to consider is, what question will you ask?